Before we wrap this crazy year, here are 8 insane Blender lighting tips which you probably didn't know about. So buckle up and let's see what we have. A combination of lights and modifiers can create some amazing things in Blender. But the issue here, lights don't take modifiers by default. So what's up with that? The fix here is through parenting. Since we can drop modifiers on a mesh easily, we can add a simple mesh, like only one vertex should be enough. Then parent the light to it, so that in the layers, the mesh will be at top, while the light is inside. And with this setup, we can add many modifiers on this unseen vertex to play with it. As a result, it affects the lights we have to generate unique and dope stuff in no time. So try it out. It's really cool. In many cases where you have the scene lit from one light or one direction, adding extra lights might mess up the shot contrast or show the light shape on metal. Now, something many people skip is the reflected light, because when there's a void behind your model, the dark side might go out of color, so putting a simple white plane there to reflect the light from your main source is more than enough to fix the scene while keeping the theme you're working on without boosting the lights or burning colors. Creating light shapes or gobos in Blender is an easy task to enhance the final look of your work, and it only takes you minutes. Like we can take this boring shot of a chair, drop the spread value in the light to make it more like the bat signal. Then with cycles, use the light node to input a wave texture or any other map you have, and use it to make amazing lighting for your scene to cover that mess you call geometry. So, have fun. Now in the last Gobos tip, we made the shot with volumetrics. But did you know that we can fake Godrays in Blender without using any volume? And it goes like this. You add a mesh and shape it as a light beams, something dropping from a window or a broken ceiling. Make it empty so the top and bottom faces need to go. Then in the shading, we can use a noise texture in the alpha input. So we kinda hide some parts of the mesh with the noise pattern we have. After that, we only need to fade the top, bottom, and side with 2 mix nodes using separate Z and layer weight, and you're good to go. This dope thing is light, so no volumetric loads, and can be easily brought to any scene and modified to fit. If you think of boosting the Godrays we did last, or any other mesh with a light, you will run into a problem where, if you scale an object parented with the light, you need to adjust the light power. So the question here is how we can link those two values, the mesh scale with the light powers. See, in Blender, we have something called drivers, which no one uses, and it's easy to play with. I mean, if we have this cube with a light, I can go to the light, put the mouse over the power and right-click, then add a driver. A settings window will pop up, and you can right-click to bring it back if you lost it. And in the settings, we can assign the cube, then pick a transformation like location, rotation, or scale to make it affect the light power. Now, you only need to figure out an equation in the expression for the variable, plus the light's power to keep it in balance while you scaling or transforming your mesh. Did you know you can make a full color spectrum with one light in Blender, like those weird interior lamps, and it's all with the nodes. We can take a simple area light, use the nodes in it, and we're on cycles just to be clear, 'cause light nodes still don't work in Eevee. Add a combine color node with HSV type, then put the saturation and value on 1. The hue input will take an incoming geometry through a separate XYZ and a math node fraction. A color ramp is more than welcomed here for better control. Animating this is super easy with all those values, so go wild with it. Flickering lights might be old but still gold, 'cause we use the method all the time. The one thing you need to do is hit the animation dot near the power value, then switch to the graph editor to drop a noise modifier on the animation graph, which gonna look crazy at first. But once you tune down the scale and strength, it will be somehow good. But with light, we need to limit the power to not go below 0. 'Cause a light with minus power will suck the light from the area, so it's like under the bed. That's why we add a limit modifier and make it stop at 0, so you get a graph like this. Another thing is the flickering being on and off statues, so no gradually increasing or decreasing in power, and you fix that with the step modifier. Add it and edit the step size to make the graph more like a building shapes and not a heart monitor screen. Doing outdoor lighting can be tricky for new Blender users since you are eager to look outside for sky images to fit your shot, while you have inside the best available physically accurate sky built in Blender. The sky texture in Blender is a dope option, and though once you add it things might look weird, it sucks at first glance. However, if you put the elevation at 177, the rotation at 158, then boost the ozone to around 10, and from that point you can tweak some numbers around to get amazing lighting which suits most scenes without the need to look for HDRIs or images online. And that's it. Hope this one been fun to watch. Do like and sub for more Blender content and see you next time. Stay sharp. Goodbye.